What's happening, guys? Acrinator here, and welcome to this special game review for Drive Any Track. Now, some of you are probably wondering what the hell I'm talking about, since I've never played or even talked about Drive Any Track before, so why am I making a game review for it? I've recently gotten into Drive Any Track, and I've really enjoyed my time with it, but because of what the gameplay consists of, I'd likely not be able to make a normal gameplay video without jumping through a million hoops for copyright purposes. But I still felt that this game deserved some sort of exposure, something to spread the word and to voice my opinion about it, hence this game review. I will have an announcement to make at the end of this video, but for now, let's dive straight into the review. Drive Any Track is a music racer developed and published by indie studio Foam Entertainment. Music racers comprise a very small genre in gaming, in which the only prevalent title is audio surf, so what sets this game apart from the rest? Admittedly, there's little customization to be had in a genre where you drive on some sort of racing track to music of your choosing, and Drive Any Track certainly doesn't break this trend. Just like audio surf, Drive Any Track consists of navigating your way across a winding track with various obstacles such as ramps and barricades. Where Drive Any Track really manages to distinguish itself amongst its peers is the presentation of the track, by which I mean both the music and the road you're driving on. The developers created an algorithm used to create a track specifically for any and every song you'd want to play. What's more, this track will be the same for every instance this song is played. If you manage to be the first person to play a song, the game will even give you credits right next to the leaderboards for everyone to see. It's these kinds of simple touches that can make a game feel really special. That being said, it's much easier for a game to make you feel good about yourself than it is to function well. Unlike other games in the music racer genre, Drive Any Track's algorithm for track creation works extremely well at fitting the level to the sound and the feel of the song. Twists, turns, jumps, and ramps all occur in perfect synchronization with the song, helping to create the most immersive experience this genre has ever given me. You feel like you're really moving with the song, experiencing all the emotions they express through physical manifestations brought about in the racetracks. Another mechanic of the game that really stood out to me was how important staying in sync was. Hitting blockades will slow you down and give you a small point deduction, but it doesn't feel as though you're being punished all too much. Whereas in a game like Audio Surf, you can fail out of a song and have it interrupted just at the good part, Drive Any Track will at most teleport you back to the sync line so that you don't get too far behind. This is something that's extremely significant to me, being as music is one of my two escapes from everyday life, the other one being games. I really hate it when whatever I'm listening to is interrupted. Allowing you to play through entire songs completely uninterrupted is something that really should be more prevalent in an entire genre dedicated to said music. I'm looking at you, Guitar Hero. While Drive Any Track really nails the presentation of the songs, I'm still left wishing that the game had a larger library of music to choose from. There's a very small selection built into the game, and the rest of your selections come from music saved on your computer. While anyone who has a song on their computer can play it with no problems, those without a copy of it are left in the dark, or realistically speaking, left to illegally download the song so that they can play it. It would bring a whole new level of community to the game if, once someone plays a song for the first time, everyone could just search for that song in the game's database without being required to have it downloaded separately. Now, I realize this would cause a whole plethora of copyright issues that Foam is avoiding by limiting it to what's already on your computer, but hey, it's still nice to dream. One big thing about Drive Any Track that I've neglected to mention up until this point, mostly because I wanted you to see this game without any misguided preconceptions, is the fact that it's still in early access. Yes, if you can believe it, Foam Entertainment is still busy at work developing this. Honestly, I wouldn't have ever guessed just by looking at it. I mean, just by the way it plays and how well the level creation algorithm is set up, Drive Any Track feels like it could be a full release already, and no one would complain about that. The only thing that I've encountered that helps remind me that this game isn't finished being developed is the fact that the AI in charge of identifying the basic info for songs and then saving them to the database doesn't seem to recognize newer releases. This is entirely forgivable, at least for me, seeing as there are probably hundreds, if not thousands, of new songs released daily, so for the database to keep up as well as it has is pretty damn amazing. This last little bit mostly relates back to the leaderboards function. Take this however you feel like taking it, but Drive Any Track doesn't have a proper multiplayer. I can imagine the player base isn't yet big enough to justify attempting to group people together to race all on the same song at the same time. Furthermore, I can't really imagine how multiplayer racing would work out in a game so heavily focused on staying in sync. For someone to be further ahead or behind, this would require players to be at different points in the song, which would be difficult to pull off with the current mechanics. What Drive Any Track does have in terms of competition is the ability to race against ghosts of players' previous runs. While you can't interact with them directly, these ghosts give you something to shoot for, which can hopefully sate your appetite for healthy or unhealthy competition. I usually try to veer away from music-related games, as I normally don't get to choose any songs that I want to hear, and even if I do, they'll likely get interrupted if I mess up too many times. The flawless synchronization of song and gameplay of Drive Any Track is what drew me to this game, and I don't regret a single second spent drifting and jumping through my iTunes library. It's by far my favorite music racer, and I can't wait for the full release to see what else Foam has up their sleeves. Until that time, I'll just have to settle for the early access version, which I find myself giving an 8.6 out of 10. Before I go any further, I should probably explain how my rating system works for these reviews, because it's a bit unusual compared to what the normal for these sort of things might be. These ratings are based entirely off of my overall enjoyment of the game in question. This is why I don't have a more organized method of analyzing the gameplay, graphics, etc., because every game will have certain qualities that stand out more than others. One game might have amazing story and terrible mechanics, while another could have that situation completely flipped around, and they could both get the same score. On top of this, a 10 out of 10 doesn't necessarily mean I believe that a game is perfect, but rather it's the best experience I've had with a video game. Yes, that does mean that only one game at a time will ever have a 10 out of 10 on my list, and that it's subject to change. If and when a game becomes my new favorite, only the former number 1 will have its value changed, which would likely be set down to a 9.9. Getting back to Drive Any Track, it's currently available for early access on Steam for $14.99 US for anyone who is interested in giving it a try. I would highly recommend this game for anyone who has a love for music and wants to experience what I believe to be a game near the pinnacle of the music-related genre. Now for that announcement you've been waiting the entire video to hear. I will begin to write and publish reviews for all the games I've previously played on my channel that don't already have a review for them, as well as games I feel aren't necessarily Let's Playable. Just a few examples of the games in my backlog that are due for reviews someday are Minecraft, Just Cause 2, and Alien Isolation, so you have that to look forward to in the unforeseen future. Just like this game review, they'll take place during a special episode slot of the rotation, and won't be all too consistent in terms of when I make them. It'll be more up to how ambitious I'm feeling at the time, but like always, I will give you prior notice the day before I upload the video. So with that mouthful done, be sure to leave your comments in the comment section below about which games you'd like to see me review next, as well as your thoughts about this review as a whole. This video type is still very much a work in progress, so I'd love to hear of any ways I can make it better. And as always, the comment question still stands. Try and guess the intro and outro songs to my videos. They're always the same, I never change them. Be sure to follow me on Instagram for the latest updates on when I'll be uploading YouTube videos, as well as when I'll be streaming on Twitch and other random gaming related posts. Be sure to check out my partner in crime, Sir John Mac's channel. He posts something every now and then, and it's usually pretty entertaining, whatever it is. So if you like this video, be sure to click that like button, and if you want to see more like it, maybe even subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And that's all the time I've got for today, guys, so until next time, don't die.